Welcome to Because You Need to Know Now. You're going to want to perk your ears up for this event coming up in Dublin, Ireland.
My name is Barry Byrne. I live in Dublin, Ireland. I work for a global medicines company called Novartis, where I lead global knowledge management. Also, as I run a knowledge summit called Knowledge Summit Dublin, which is a practitioner-led knowledge exchange experience within the centre of Dublin City in a beautiful location in Trinity College, Dublin.
Barry, what exactly is the difference between your summit and a conference?
Yeah, good question, Edwin. The reason we started this, and this was started by a bunch of practitioners within the knowledge management field, we felt that a lot of conferences have become very impersonal, Edwin, very large, soulless, and a lot of speaking down to people. So we flipped everything on its head and we said, let's have something in a really beautiful location. Let's have this more about an experience and more knowledge exchange between the people who
Yeah,
are attending.
yeah. So you've gone away from the lecture style, undergrad from 100 years ago style, to a more interactive style. Would that be right?
Exactly.
Okay.
If you think about it, Edwin, in any given room, you probably have about 1,000 years of experience of people that are in the room. So why have them all be silent and listen in silence?
Yes.
Quite often, someone selling something speaks to them for an hour, and they invariably, with human attention spans, they go onto their phone after
Yeah, yeah.
about 15 minutes.
Well, so you're going to make it an engaging thing. Now, last year was your first year. What was the best thing and what was the worst thing out of that experience?
Oh, the best thing was just the overwhelming support and joy that I felt from the global knowledge management community, Edwin. It was just incredible. I must have got 170 because that's how many people we had there, which was a big number, bigger than we expected for the first one. Thank you letters, postcards, emails. So people really responded and absolutely loved it. And many friends and colleagues and knowledge management practitioners have said they've gone to KM conferences for over a decade
Yeah.
more, and it's the best one they've ever attended. So that was the best thing. It was just the fun we had. The worst thing, I suppose, it's just the logistics of setting
Yeah.
something like that up. I said at the start, we do these things not because they're easy, but because we think they're going to be easy.
Well, the reward is there, right? I mean, you're doing this to help the whole society of
Yes.
knowledge
Yeah.
people. So, is this year's focus still just on KM practitioners? Would someone listening say, I'm not a practitioner, but I want to learn
Yeah,
stuff?
there's also a focus on first timers.
Okay.
There's also a lot of, you wouldn't just have to be KM focused. There's also a big focus, of course, on AI these days that makes KM sexy again. And it's something that's very important to all of us. So someone with a passing interest in AI and how they can optimize their
Yeah.
organization, their company, can come along and learn from some of the greatest minds in the world, NASA, MIT, the Kneff and Company, you name it, some of the greatest PhDs and professors in the world and practitioners, of course. Yeah, it's really an
Yeah.
experience for
So,
everyone.
what's this year's excursions like? So, folks, when he says he is trying to make it experiential learning, he is. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about what's shaking for this year.
Yeah, well, so as you know, I was a military officer for many years before I started my role leading knowledge management in Novartis. One of the things I have is a love for the outdoors. We're very lucky here in Dublin, Ireland. We have the Wicklow Mountains very close to us, some of the most scenic places in the world. They also have the historic round towers of Glendalough, where ancient knowledge was codified and things like, the Book of Kells and other documents. So we're going to lead a very, very exciting, pioneering, to use your name, type of workshop up into the mountains. So we're going to bring less than 50 people up on a very special excursion with Dave Snowden and others up into the Wicklow Mountains. We'll do a little bit of a trek and adventure through the mountains, and we will have an actual real fire for a fireside chat up
Nice.
within the mountains. There'll be lunch and an obligatory pint of Guinness afterwards.
Well, that makes it a memorable and a social connecting opportunity that you're not going to get at a conference.
Absolutely, absolutely. And on top of that, Edwin, to come back that night and then go to a really historic, beautiful bar in the center of Dublin and connect with all the people that have flown in from four continents around the world to congregate in Dublin's fair city. the night before the conference, it's a special experience. And then every night after what is a really fun, and should I stress, light filled, daylight filled
Uh-huh.
summit with then again going back to what I mentioned before, that a lot of these conferences have become very soul destroying. They don't have natural light.
Yeah.
Talks go on for too long. There's not much sharing and connection within the audience. So this natural light in every single room we have in a beautiful location and possibly one of the most beautiful universities in the world in Trinity College Dublin, and then great
Yeah.
fun at night in the city.
Well, you're making it sound rich and fun and inviting for sure. Why would anyone want to go this year that has never
Oh,
gone to one before? Not just your summit, but just to anything like this. What's the hook?
the hook is everyone wants to be more efficient and optimize their organization to be a more knowledge centric organization. So if we ditch the term knowledge management and just focus on just knowledge centric, leveraging the collective knowledge of your workforce and finding that synergy with AI and leveraging AI, that's what can create a market advantage or a differentiator for you. That would be one reason to come. But on top of that, Edwin, this year is particularly exciting. You've got the mountain adventure, right? That's going to be absolutely incredible, led by some ex-special forces guys and girls who will not be trying to put you through something strenuous, but will be making sure that you're safe, and also in creating this incredible rich experience. But also during the summit, we will have this new concept this year, which is knowledge exchange pods. So this is something very cool where we're going to put everyone who comes to the summit, they can optionally be included in a group of 5 people to collectively process knowledge as they learn it. So you'll meet a wonderful group of people
Nice.
that you can opt to have dinner with beforehand, have drink
Yeah.
beforehand, and then
Yeah.
we'll create these knowledge exchange periods within each day at the conference where you meet. And 5 is a very particularly chosen number, an uneven number, optimized for knowledge exchange, where we then get you to say, what did you learn from your sessions? And what did you learn from your sessions?
Yeah.
It's going to be a cool experience.
Instead of letting everybody just try to socially connect awkwardly as people are by themselves, which they may end up talking to one person a day, you're actually building in a shell that everybody gets in and operates throughout with purpose.
Yeah, and not only that, we'll have little private spaces created on the very cool conference app, the Summit app, so that you can actually exchange knowledge with your little pod, your knowledge exchange pod of
Sweet.
5 people. Yeah.
So you're actually doing knowledge management practice in the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to learn from each other and create social bonds, be it up on a mountain or in a classic, iconic Dublin pub setting or on the grounds of Trinity College Dublin. You're going to be learning, you're going to be creating bonds with people, and you're going to want to come back.
Any last bits that you wish you would have said?
So one other thing that you're not going to want to miss this year is something that was always in my mind that I wanted to do with this summit, and that is to have a very special gala dinner for all the attendees in the beautiful historic dining hall of Trinity College Dublin. This room was built in 1765. It's iconic. I mean, picture Harry Potter type dining room. We're going to have everyone at the summit there having a beautiful 4-course meal, drinks reception beforehand. It's going to be really special experience.
All right. Well, thanks for being here and thanks for sharing this hot news. We'll get it out the door rather quickly.